We've heard the saying that there is no such thing as a bad question, but in retirement planning, some questions are definitely better than others. And the way you frame the question oftentimes helps you get the result and the answer that you want. So today we're going to present Dennis with some common questions you might ask, but tell you how to ask them a little better. Welcome in. This is Dollars with Dennis. Glad to have you on the show once again. I know, Dennis, you filled a lot of questions. I'm sure a lot of the ones we're going to run through today are the ones you get. But hey, this is what you do every day. I know you enjoy working with clients. I know you appreciate all the questions you get.
Sure do. Sometimes they ask questions, they're not sure why they're asking them, but a lot of times it's just how they ask them and maybe the wording in them, what they're really trying to accomplish or get an answer to, and they're not sure how to ask it. So we try to help with that.
Yeah, I know you help with that in the office. That's what we're going to do in this video today. If you like it, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I think you'll really appreciate the information that we put out every single week. Dennis does a good job of just trying to help inform you and put you in a better position to be successful long term. It's all educational content. We hope that you find this very helpful. So please subscribe to the channel. But today the focus is, hey, I got 5 questions I'm going to present to you, Dennis, that people often ask about retirement planning and financial planning. I want you to kind of help us reframe the way we think about it. And I know the first one is the one you probably get the most. How much money do I need to have saved in order to retire? It's a good question, but what's a better way to ask it?
Yeah, so a better way to ask is how much income will I need and how much do I have in my how much will my savings give me? So the answer is always different for everybody. So, but that is a common question. How much do I need to have it saved? That is different for every single person. Everybody has a different lifestyle, different budget, different needs. So, but how much income will I need and how much will my savings give me is probably a good place to start and way to ask that question a little bit better and have some dialogue around that.
Yeah, again, you pointed out, but yeah, this is different for everybody, right? I mean, it's like your number could be higher or lower than you expect too. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of times people come in and they're in a better position than they thought they were going to be in.
Absolutely, and that's a pleasant surprise, right? the time, and it's happened a little bit lately because the markets have been high. People's accounts have grown a little bit more than typical, and so then when we review their plan, sometimes it accelerates their retirement goals because we're getting there. But it is a question we get a lot: is how much money do I need to retire? And it's more about what do you need to take care of when you retire? What are your bills going to be then? And that's something that our planning will help work with and help people get on track to do that. So how much income will you need and how much will I get from my savings are the best questions.
All right, so don't pick out some arbitrary number like $1 million or $2 million to have
Yeah.
saved. Know exactly what you need. All right, second question here, Dennis. People probably ask this one a lot. How can I get the highest possible return on my money? Everybody wants the best return, right? And probably without all the risk. But how do you ask this question better to get the answer that you truly need?
Yeah, so that better way to ask that is Will Rogers once said, it's less about the return on my money than the return of my money. And for the people that aren't from Cincinnati, Will Rogers, I believe, from around here in this area before I was ever from here. But anyhow, it was a saying that I heard a lot early in my career from another advisor that I worked with. But he would quote a lot of Will Rogers quotes, and it was just getting a return on my money is the most important thing, and then we'll worry about rate of return after that.
Yeah, so make sure you're asking that question the correct way. It's not about getting the highest returns, but it's about making sure that you are doing what's needed within your overall plan, right? Your investment strategy that's most effective for you. So
that changes for everybody again, like the last question. So somebody might they might have enough money. They don't need to be risky at all. They can be just worried about just getting my money back. And then again, if the need arises and you need to have some growth to your money, you might have to consider taking what I call calculated risk to try to help you accomplish your goals because you don't have enough to get there.
All right, third question, Dennis. I know a lot of people want to find the best cost for financial advice, right? They're often looking for the lowest fee. Well, the lowest fee doesn't always equal the best value, right? And that's probably where the focus should be.
Yeah, the question should be asked, where do I get the best value for the fees that I am paying? So it's important to know what you are paying, but how do you get the value for those fees? And I think getting an advisor gets you aligned with your goals and your plan so that you have a strategy to get there. and work with you to get that value. And Mercedes used to do that commercial all the time where it's not about the cost this much money, you get this much out of it. And the average driving cost of a Mercedes was less than a lot of other cars. I don't know if you can still say that, but it's more about the value of the advice and the fees you're paying.
I thought we're asking better questions here today on Dollars with Dennis. We've got a couple more. A big one on Social Security. Everyone wants to know about Social Security. No, I'm not going to present the question of, hey, is it going broke or not, Dennis? The other question people like to ask is, hey, do I need to take it at 62 or should I wait until 70? I know there's a little bit in between there, Dennis. So how should you approach this big part of retirement?
So the better way to ask that question is, what is the best Social Security strategy for my overall retirement plan? So if we have a plan in place, and every retirement plan that we run for people, it does a Social Security maximization in there. So whether it's 62, 65, 67, 70, we can get to the right balance. So it's better to know what the best strategy for you is than just say, should I take it at 62? Should I take it at wherever? You need to have a strategy. That's why it's important to have a plan so you can know whether taking it early or waiting later is most valuable to you. Lots of questions about this.
Yeah, it's a big question. I know it's important to a lot of people because it makes up a lot of their income in retirement. So you want to get it right, but you want to make sure you have the best strategy for your overall retirement. All right, last one here, Dennis. Another good one. People oftentimes going into retirement want to know, should I pay off my mortgage before I retire? That seems like a pretty straightforward question, but maybe how should you be looking at it?
Yeah, so I think you probably want to look at what's the smartest way to manage your debt going into retirement. So we'll get that exact question: should I pay off my mortgage? And it might be the answer, but it might not be. And a lot of times, people want to take money out of their retirement accounts to pay off their house, and that could create a lot more taxation than they're thinking about when they do that. So it's more about what's the smartest way to manage the debt as you approach retirement. Because if you have to take money out of your retirement plan to pay off your house, then and pay more taxes to do that, then it's probably not the best strategy to go to. You might want to just see, does it fit in my budget as I'm retired? Can I manage this debt in retirement? And the same with other debt. Some people come in with no debt at all, but their living expenses are still quite a bit because we still have taxes, utilities, food, inflation, and all the things we want to do. So it's important to get debt in the proper perspective and know what it is. But some debt can be managed in retirement. And I always say, when the house is paid off in today's world, the taxes and insurance are almost as much as what the payment was in the beginning. So it feels like you still have the debt when it's paid off.
Crazy. It is crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I like that perspective though about just managing debt overall. I think that's so important. These are all good questions to be asking. You can just ask them a little bit more effectively, I think, to get the true answers that are best fit for you. And again, that's what Faith 401k and money management can do. They ask the questions that are important to you to get the answers that you need. It's not about building a plan that works for everyone. It's about building a plan that works for you, Dennis. And that's kind of where you start, right? Is asking a lot of questions in these initial meetings that you have with people to kind of learn more. And it's a great place for them to ask questions too, as well. So take us kind of into that first meeting, Dennis, before we get out of here, and just kind of paint the picture of what to expect coming in and work with you.
Yeah, so learning all about them. So asking those questions, because if we don't know where somebody's trying to get to, there's not much of a chance we're going to get them there correctly anyhow. So want to know what their goals are, what they have now, where they're trying to get to. You know, they want to retire tomorrow. They want to retire in 5 years. What do they have in debt? What do they have in investments? If we get enough questions asked and answered, then we can give a very good solution almost all the time. But it's about getting the right information, get it put into a format that is usable. And then once it's in place, it's important to review it every year. I mean, you don't get in your car to drive to California and just have one straight map. You're going to make some stops to go to the restaurant, go to the bathroom, get lunch, spend the night somewhere, and roads will change. And same thing with your retirement plan. If you don't review it every year, there's going to be changes that happen that we need to know about so that we can update and adjust what we're doing for you based on your plans changing. So it's important to have a plan, but then to review it consistently to make sure you're up to date.
All right, very good. Well, If you have any questions, want to begin that process, log on 401k.faith, all the contact info in the show description down below. And if you're not watching us on YouTube yet, come on over to the channel, hit that subscribe button for us and like the video as well. We appreciate that support. Well, that'll do it for here on another episode of Dollars with Dennis. We appreciate you watching. Dennis, hope you have a good week. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Ben. Have a great day.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.